Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you oh so deliciously. So, 3, 2, 1, my juicy little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Yes, they are, aren't they, my little beautifuls? Now then, so the weather, our old England, my delicious little babies, well, it has been sun shining, but it's now pretty grey. Okay, my delicious little babies. I wouldn't say it is too cold, but of course, I do not feel that it is shorts weather, my delicious little babies. Okay, now the time is what's the time, Mr. Wolf? It's nearly 3:45 in our old England, my delicious little babies today. And, it's very dry outside, and I hope that the weather is super duper wonderful and delicious wherever you are in the world, my little beautifuls. Now then, so I have two pieces of information. This is on old YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay? The first video is just over 9 minutes long, my delicious little babies. 9 minutes long, you know that number 9. And the second video comes in at over 24 minutes. Okay, my delicious little babies. Both of these videos are today to do with Ireland, my delicious little babies, okay? So the first one is as follows. In the old space bar, in old YouTube, my delicious little babies, this is 2 words together, capital R, Irish, capital R again, inquiry, Irish inquiry. Both the words together, my delicious little babies. This uploader happens to have 24.5 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, on old YouTube. Now, the video should read, are you going to the protest in Dublin? By the way, I wrote this morning, my delicious little babies. Have a listen to Suzanne Delaney before doing so. Okay, my delicious little babies out there, so I'll just repeat that again for you. Are you going to the protest in Dublin? Sorry, question mark, I always put 2. Have a listen to Suzanne Delaney before doing so. Yeah. So this woman here now then, she's Irish, and she's talking about, the protest that's taking place in Dublin today, my delicious little babies. Well, I mean, I've been talking about England, Ireland. I probably said the odd things about Scotland. And I probably said the odd things about Wales. But, most of the focus really has been on England and Ireland, my delicious little babies, okay? And of course, I've talked about other countries. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? Because there's always something going on somewhere, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean, okay? There's always, very sadly, some form of chaos, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? So, but yeah, she's just having a say on things, my delicious little babies, okay? So, well worth a little listen. It's just over 9 minutes. And these ones here will most likely, and with anybody not in that way, will most likely be one-offs, my delicious little babies, okay, that I'm mentioning today. The second one and final one, this is all together now again, capital C, critical, capital E, R, and then these 3 letters are capitals, M for mother, M for mother again, A for apple. So it should read, but they're all together, no spaces, critical R, MMA. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, this uploader happens to have 3.57 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, so in the old YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay? Now, this video should read Dublin's large mosque, what's it called? Clonskeagh or Clonsclay or Clons. Oh gosh, I'm very sorry, Ireland, if I'm, mispronouncing this. Everybody knows my pronunciation is not that grand, my delicious little baby. So I'm awfully sorry about that. I'll try again. Clonskeagh. Okay. Closure. Updates in brackets. Lots of new details emerge. Okay, my delicious little babies. So, and that was uploaded, what was it, 24 hours ago, my delicious little babies. So I'll just read it again. Dublin's large mosque, Clonskeagh closure, updates in brackets, lots of new details emerge. Well, so what your man here is talking about, this is to do with, basically, this particular mosque in Ireland has had some somewhat funding from Dubai. Well, as this so happens, because this has came up on my feed, so this is the first time that I've seen any of these uploaders, okay? I already happen, there we are, to know that funding, for a lot of the mosques, okay, does come from, let's just say, outside. There we are. Okay, my delicious little baby. So for myself, that was not a surprise. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? If you look at, we could say this, don't get me wrong, as for the uploader, he's there to do a job, bless him, you know what I mean? And he seems to be doing a good job, and from what I take of it, he does tend to research my delicious little babies, okay? Although this is the only video that I've started to listen to, but so far, yes, I thought to myself, yes, I'll listen to the rest of it, okay? Because occasionally I do sort of just click off. Do you see what I mean? If there's a video that I just think, okay, it's just going to be too long-winded and boring. That's not being nasty, my delicious little babies, okay? But some videos, you might just want to get to the point. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? But he's had some comments, okay? And it turns out that he was right. And whoever had commented, well, they happen to be wrong, my delicious little babies, the guy, right? And he's just done telling them, basically. Do you see what I mean, the guy? That's a good thing to do, isn't it? If he's done his research, there we are. If he's done his research and he knows that he's correct on something, well, for somebody to say something totally different now, it would be not the right thing or correct thing to do. Now, my delicious little babies, it's like if you look at our England churches, my delicious little babies, you'll find that the majority, if not all, are funded by somebody else, my delicious little babies, except for the differences. It appears to be in-house. My delicious little babies, do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So it doesn't matter which way you look at it, really. But, at the end of the day, right, whatever religion one may be, whether it be Christian, whether it be Muslim, whether it be Orthodox, whatever religion, because like I said before, there's like 4,000 religions, isn't there? My delicious little babies, from what I was hearing years ago, So the list goes on and on. Do you see what I mean? Well, if ones feel happier, going to church or going to a mosque and, saying their prayers and everything, well, that's up to them, isn't it? So that's the videos, my delicious little babies, okay? So, I just tend to, live and let live at the end of the day, you know what I mean? As long as it's not affecting my life on a daily basis, everybody can just, have whatever religion they want. It's, it's really nothing to do with myself. It's not my business. So I'm just going to close my book. So let's go backwards, shall we? Continue to where we need to, my delicious little babies. So I was out walking today, my delicious little babies, and so this Asian man happened to stop me, not in that way, my delicious little babies can. And I mean, I've got to be honest, I have not been asked this question before. My delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? And he happened to say, basically, words to effect. I cannot remember all of his exact words. I'm not making that up. I cannot. But basically, what were my thoughts on the Pope? Or was I part of, the Pope's religion? Words along those lines, my delicious little baby. So I kept it very polite, because because he was with somebody else, his little sister. So I kept it most polite. And I just said, well, no, I said, I have nothing against anybody's religion. I said, put the Pope going. I said, dying. Usually I'd say passing away, but not in this case, my delicious little babies. I said, does not bother me at all. I thought to myself, what a question to ask. Nobody's ever asked me that before, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Like I saw him walking up my road as I was walking down the road. And then, of course, I was walking back round, and then he happened to be going one way, and I happened to be going another way. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? I mean, it's rather odd, isn't it? I mean, I've been out today walking my beautiful and delicious little Ruby Tuesday, but I haven't stopped anybody to say. I have had conversations, short conversations, but I haven't said to them, what are your thoughts on the perp dying? Do you see what I mean? I just thought it was very odd. I'd never seen this man before. Okay? But as I said, I said, ones can have different religions. I said, but him dying, well, it doesn't affect my life one iota, quite frankly, my delicious little babies. Everybody knows everybody knows my feelings to do with the putrid perp. Because that's what he is. Whether he is and whether he was, anyway. Okay, my delicious little babies, it's open to question. There we are. It's open to question, isn't it? So what I'm saying is that, as far as I'm concerned, well, I never liked the perp. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to pretend to anybody who asked me, and in this case, it was an Asian man. That was interesting as well. He was Asian. There we are. He's Asian. That was interesting as well. But whilst I've been out and about, I just haven't said anything like that to anybody. Because as far as I'm concerned, there we are. Before I even say it, I had far better things now to talk about. Like getting up earlier this morning and making my red grape jam, my delicious little babies. But what I did is I made it where it wasn't too solid, so I made it more the French way, like how they would make an apricot jam, so it's more looser. Yeah. So I did the grape soda jam, so I did it that way, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Because my beautiful dear little neighbours, they're so beautiful, okay? Well, I said to them, because I got the cream in and everything, and I made the jam. But they are the professionals, my delicious little babies, not myself, okay? And I will praise them. There we are. I will praise them, because I'm telling you something, they're cakes, and they already know with me. They say, well, you just do not have such a sweet tooth, do you, Carla? I said, no. But if ever they give me something, or they've made something that is sweet, it isn't very often. It's more savoury, because I know I love savoury. But and they're so very kind to even spare a thought from ourselves. Do you know what I mean? That they spare that thought to, uh, give an extra portion out of food. That's just so beautiful. But they are the professionals when it comes to cake baking. Absolutely fantastic what they do. Cheesecakes, just you name it, there we are. They can do it. Okay, and they do like beautiful cakes that are out. There we are, that are out of this world, and things like this. Now, then, absolutely fantastic, fabulous. They are. So I said, Luke, I said, what I'll do, I said, I'll pay you. And I said, I could give you the, because I've got the flour, I've got everything in. But they've got all of the, the tins and all that you use. But because I cannot stand baking, my delicious little babies, I love the cooking side, the savoury. Everybody knows that with me, even on my camera, to you all, my little beautifuls, right? But they've got all of their, their cake baking. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Things in the kitchen. So I just said, well, would you be able to please make me a sponge? Like the sponge. And then with the cream, and then, whip the cream up, and then, put the jam. Because I just thought, you know what? I thought I haven't had anything sweet forever, like a cream cake. And what I wanted to do as well is give a piece each to me two little elderly, dear little ladies. I'll tell them that, I provided the cream and and I made the jam, and you know what I mean. But I will tell them that, the beautiful, dear little neighbours, made the sponge. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, because, I'm not like that. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, I will tell the truth, But I mean, I'm sure that if I really wanted to make a sponge, I'm pretty sure I have done it actually. When I was younger, with my dear dad, I'm pretty sure I did, He got me doing a bit of the flipping baking. I really just could not stand baking, my delicious little babies, but yeah, you'd think he wrote me into it to do some baking. But, but it's more, somebody else's rather than mine, my delicious little babies can. So yeah, I'm looking forward to me cream and jam sponge cake later, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, oh yes, and then I probably wouldn't have probably another little cake, probably for about 9 or 10 months, something like that. My delicious little babies. I'm just not one for. Do you know what I mean? I love cream in my coffee. I tend to buy a lot of cream, to put in my coffee, my delicious little babies. I buy the milk as well, but I just buy lots of cream as well. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? It just tastes nicer, if you know what I mean. And then tomorrow I'm going to be making my homemade fish cakes. My delicious little babies, yeah, because you have to soak the fish in milk and everything, for that, okay? But there's nothing like making your own anything to do with that, like my salmon patties yesterday. Oh, my dear little friend Kaz, she absolutely adored the patties. She thought they were really delicious, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing is, it's lovely, say for a little family, it's not expensive to make at all, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay, and you can put it with some salad or with a little bench, maybe if they don't want any salad, maybe some vegetables or something like that now then. I mean, with some, the little bench, they might like it with some beans or something, you know what I mean? But it is a healthy meal. My delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? Anyway, so I'm pretty sure that my two little elderly neighbours over the back, bless them, do you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure, oh gosh, they'll really look forward to eating the cream cake. My delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? I don't think the other woman down the road, I don't think she will much probably be into the cake, my delicious little babies. Anyway, I made a few soups, so I feel as though I've helped where I can, and I've given advice, you know what I mean, as ways to help her immune system. So there's very little else that I can do, my delicious little babies. I've just done it as a favour because, when I was out walking, and because she happened to say, she wasn't feeling very well, I just said, well, I'm making a soup, I can drop you some over, and that's, you know what I mean? And it helped her with the throat, like I said. But my beautiful little elderly ladies, bless you can have an excellent convo with them. And changing the subject, my delicious little babies. So, I said on one of my videos, I said I'm beginning to feel like a bingo caller, where I said, two little ducks, 22. Yeah, the other day I forgot to tell you, my delicious little babies, not far from where I live now. So I'm walking around with my beautiful and delicious little Ruby Tuesday. And it was like this, in the shape of an Easter egg. It looked like it had been laminated. And like where it's got the straps with different colours. And what did it say on it? 22. Look at that. Look at that, my delicious little babies. Now, who happens to live? And I do not give a shit. I'm just done saying it. Who happens to live there? I mean, I don't know how much longer they would live there for. I don't know, but he's a Chinese man, and she's a white. My delicious little babies. They tend to not talk to anybody. So they keep very much to themselves. Okay? They clearly go out to work and then come back, but they really just do not wish to talk to anybody at all. Whereas if I talk to others, they'll always talk. They'll always speak to you. But then again, I haven't gone out of my way to speak to those either. My delicious little babies. I don't know why my spirit just never took to them from the beginning. From the beginning, my delicious little babies. So I just thought I'd just drop that out and mention it. Do you say? Because when I'm on my way around, I notice lots of little things, you say. Do you see what I mean? To whom it may, there we are, concern. Now then. Okay, so I am clocking it. Just like down the road as well. Yeah, clocking it all right. So, yeah. I'm soon, there we are, seeing who's who. Put it that way. To whom, there we go again, it may concern. Interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. Do you say? So that's my video, my delicious little babies. That's not to yourselves, okay? My delicious little babies is just thought I'd just mention it, really. Seems to be a concrete on is it like a slab of concrete on a couple of the bins as well? Yeah. Yeah. Because you see, the thing is, okay, and I do not happen to know them, by the way, so I do not speak to them, you know what I mean? Because you see, what's happening is on my road, just before I go, my delicious little babies, okay, and I'm going to repeat this again, I'm going to mention this again, okay? You see, there seems to be a lot of new moving in, my delicious little, there we are, little babies, okay? But they never seem to stay long. My delicious little babies, and I've noticed that they leave a bit of wood. I'm noticing that as well. And there's a couple of gardens where there's a lot of sticks, twigs that are been pulled together. Do you say? So, what's all that about? So to myself, I just find the whole thing rather strange, because they do not seem to be around for long, and then they move out, and a short time after, there we are, somebody else moves in. It's all really odd. It's a very much an oddball situation to myself. But of course, for some, clearly I do know them. Do you see what I mean? And for a lot of the dear neighbours, they are all, there we are, beautiful neighbours. Do you know what I mean? But, and up the road as well. But, and there's a few over the back, who are very, because a lot of them really have now been elderly, so very sadly, either passed away or gone into a home or something. Do you know what I mean? But I used to know them and have a little natter, bless them, and give them a hug and kiss on the cheek. You know what I mean? But these are different. There we are. These are different. It's really hard to explain. And it'd be very interesting to see, because there's another one for let up the road. But this is not your bog standard like for sale sign. It's like, this is a more expensive name. So it's going to be very interesting, there we are, to see who's going to be moving into there. Very interesting indeed. So we shall see. To myself, it appears that there's something to do, there we are, with this road. I'm not sure what it is yet, but there seems to be something. And not only that, but I noticed that, and others notice, so it's not just myself, that the old bill drives up a lot. So I'm not too sure what's going on. My delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? Okay. But there's clearly something now. There's definitely something with the ones who are moving in and then moving out as quick as that. Because these days, years ago, you used to have ones where they could rent somewhere like for 6 months, and then they'd move. So it's like what you call like a short tenancy. But these days it is more longer term tenancies. But many years ago, it used to be a lot of, there we are, shorter term tenancies, you know what I mean? So that's why the turnover, there we are, was the way it was. That's how I knew it anyway. But these days it's more longer term. But it's just making me wonder. And I'm noticing that with some of them, you see, they're just not wanting to engage. They're not wanting to talk to you. Like, they're very much keeping themselves to themselves. When I always say, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, each to their own. Everybody lives differently, don't they? But to myself, it just seems that we are very odd. Do you know what I mean? And, I'm not going to really say anything more, really. But, there are some homes as well, not being nasty, and I'm just going to be done saying it again. I'm a woman with a view. She'll have me effing view. And for myself, some of them are, like the curtains and everything. I mean, I know it's not my business, but you just, you know what I mean? Just like some have just got no shame, you know what I mean? Either that or they just do not know how to, make curtains look half decent. My delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But it sort of brings down the road. Especially when you got other properties where it looks all lovely and, lovely and tidy and very neat. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Do you know what I'm saying? So, to myself, just, there we are, it's just very odd. And there's a bit of wood outside theirs as well. Then there's a bit of wood at the bottom of the road. Do you know what I mean? It's just very odd. And all I keep seeing as well is broken glass. Lots of smashed glass. So far, there was, 3 lots on our road. A broken glass. So, do you know what I mean? What is this all about? That's what I want to know. What is it all about? But just to I'm going to have to do this again. I'm going to have to be done doing it again, aren't I? When somebody keeps smashing glass, whoever it is, or whoever's, there we are, paid to do this, it is affecting our beautiful little babies. Because it's not just myself who has my beautiful little babies, who we call our sons and daughters, on our road. Others do as well. So if we have to walk on a footpath, okay, rather than the road, so that we do not get run over, okay, The fact of the matter is that why must my beautiful little baby Ruby or anybody else's beautiful little babies, why must they have to walk on the glass with their bare little paws? Can you see my delicious little babies? You know, to those you so very kind. So thank you for taking the time to listen to my videos and to put a like, you know, and the occasional comment. Thank you. How I love you all so. But can you see what I'm saying? I mean, this is not very nice, is it? You go further on down the road, there's more smashed glass. Somebody just likes, there we are, smashing glass, it seems, my delicious little babies. But they're not once taken into consideration for our beautiful little babies. Whether they're like my beautiful little Ruby Tuesday or whether they're like my beautiful little Maisie Moo, they're just not caring about that. What, you know, what about, if you know, which I would never ever wish at all. What about if somebody's, our beautiful dear little, you know, families, say somebody could come to visit on the road or could anything, they could have a little toddler, walk up the road, could fall into the glass. But nobody's paying attention to that, are they? Do you see what I'm saying? It's a lack of consideration, totally. But to smash it in all different areas, it's like, I don't know, it's whoever this is are trying to make a point of something, but clearly not giving a damn, like I just said, about others or our beautiful little babies. And anyway, I'm going to leave my video like that, my delicious little babies. So not really a lot to say today, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? It just, you know, that just pees me off, man. Because let's face it, you wouldn't ever see me doing that, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, there we are. That's just damn silliness now. No need to do that whatsoever. But anyway, whatever flirts somebody's birth, you know. Can't have cameras everywhere, can we, my delicious little babies? You know what I mean? So they've got a camera over the back on one of the lampposts, right at the top. But I'm not seeing any cameras around here, this side. I mean, not that I particularly want cameras this side, my delicious little babies. No, we do not. Do you know what I mean? Okay? Somebody's spying on us day and night. You know what I mean? It's enough to drive anybody stir crazy, man. But, you know, why must ones have to keep looking out or checking to see who's smashing glass or doing what? I just do not get it, why they just keep smashing the glass. It's like it's up there, down here, then it was by the little tree, then you carry on walking down, then towards the main road, then they've smashed glass again, then you go further down, then they've smashed glass again. As far as I'm concerned, there we are. It's bonkers, crackers and crazy. Anyway, so wherever you are in the world, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected. So until my next video, you just please look after now. And please try to look after others as well, my delicious little babies, okay? And until my next video, I'll just repeat that again, okay? Thank you once again for listening. Love ya.